What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadski and I'm back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. And in today's video, we're going to be going ahead and going through a playthrough of Treasure Map Whitebeard. Now remember, this is going to be in the New World tier, and this is not by any means a free-to-play guide or anything like that. I just want to show you guys what to expect when you play through this particular event. Now, we already had a preparation video explaining everything in extremely acute details. If you guys want to see everything about that, go ahead and click the card over on the other side of the video, or at the end of the video it will be linked as well. Make sure you go ahead and check it out. It has some team compositions that you guys can go ahead and build to take on some of the teams and some of the different bosses in this specific event. Before we get into that though, let's go ahead and break down the actual unit, which is Treasure Map Whitebeard. So this is Treasure Map Whitebeard right here. I have already gone ahead and completely maxed him out. We actually did it live on stream. If you guys weren't there for it, you guys should have been, because we go ahead and live stream always on the treasure maps. So Treasure Map Whitebeard is completely finished. Let's go ahead and overview him really quick, okay? So Whitebeard is an int striker, powerhouse type character, and at max level, at level 99 with max limit break, he has this crazy set of stats. Now remember, this is with cotton candy of HP and attack as well. 4064 health is crazy. His attack power is 1795 and he has 283 recovery. Now he actually gets 5 socket spots. He only gets one at the very start, but when you max limit break him, he gets 4 additional socket spots, and his limit break abilities are very good as well. He gets side damage reduction, so at max level you take 5% less damage when he is on your crew, which is extremely good. And then his other ability is Enrage, so when you take damage the following turn, you will go ahead and get an additional set of stats increased to your character. So Whitebeard gets an additional 200 attack when you take damage in the previous turn, and this does include from special abilities that lower your own health, such as like 3-Day 2-Year Robin, for example, okay? So when you activate the Enrage ability, you have a 1995 attack with Whitebeard, which is so crazy. That's so much attack. But let's go ahead and overview his captain and special ability, okay? So his captain ability will boost your health by 1.35 to all characters, and he also gives a 3.25 attack boost, depending on how much health you have remaining. So at 1 health, you have 3.25 attack to all characters, but at full health, you only have 1 times attack. So you don't get any boost, but it scales depending on how much percentage of health you have left. So it's a decent captain ability, definitely not the best in terms of the treasure mode units. His special ability maxes at 15 turns. It gives himself a matching orb. It does 100 times his attack in non-type damage to all enemies, which is so powerful. That is so much wave clear, and then that is extremely useful for Colosseum fights. Very, very good. Also on top of this, if the enemy has a debuff protector or a delay protector, he will go ahead and double your orb effects for your entire crew. And also, if the enemy has a barrier, he gives himself, Whitebeard himself will have a 2.25 times attack boost. Overall, very, very powerful unit, and I would definitely recommend to max him out, because when he comes back, when you get the opportunity to farm him again, it's going to be very, very hard to do so. He has 2 sailor abilities as well that basically states 100 health to all characters and 50 attack to all characters. So yes, definitely farm this guy up. But now let's go ahead and get straight into the treasure map. Okay, so we're at the treasure map right now, and let's go ahead and see the treasure rewards really quick. You have to get all the way to 1 million points, and when you do, you get given 50 copies of this Whitebeard, and you can also drop copies of Whitebeard from the actual dungeon itself. So there are lots of opportunities to go ahead and get copies for skill ups and sockets and stuff like that. And you need these specific limit break crystals, which are only available from these mission rewards. So make sure you get to 1 million points, and if you do, you'll be able to completely max out your Whitebeard. So make sure to go ahead and do that. But let's go ahead and hop into Treasure Map Whitebeard. So currently, myself, as of me recording this video, I'm on navigation level 13, meaning that I have beaten it 12 times, because you start out at level 1. So I've beaten it 12 times already. So let's go ahead and hop into the 13th run. You can see here that the boss Whitebeard will give you 17,000 points for beating him, and he has 3.22 million health with an attack power of 15,483. And the mini bosses are going to be Stronghold A6 Plus, Colosseum Jozu, Old School Rare Recruit Marker, and also Colosseum Vista. And let's go ahead and get straight into it. I wonder what variation of map we're going to have in this video. Are we going to get all the bosses? That's the fun one. I like that one. Are we going to get it? We are going to get a different one. So this is not the one where we can challenge every single boss, but this is still a really good one, okay? Now, if you guys have seen the preparation video, the one where I explained everything about all of the mini bosses, I did state in that video multiple times, and I explained it multiple times on my live stream. Make sure when you play Treasure Map, always kill Vista, and the reason for that is because then you can go ahead and use Invasion Garb to wipe out his room. Vista is extremely difficult to deal with. He is by far the most difficult of all of the bosses here. Kill him always. He is going to be so annoying to beat. So let's go ahead and move on here. Obviously, like all treasure maps, the way you use your stamina is you roll the compass, you get a 1 to 5, and it basically counts as a dice roll. Unfortunately for us, we got attack down for Powerhouse, which is probably the worst debuff that we could possibly get on the entire game for us right now. That is really, really bad. So hopefully we can get rid of one of these debuffs for another debuff here. So we get a 2, which is going to be able to land on the cooldown buff, which is probably the way that we're going to have to go. Yeah, let's get the cooldown buff. But yeah, so honestly, this treasure map was not as difficult as what I thought it was going to be. Currently at treasure map level 13, it's not too bad, but I can definitely see some potential of where it can start to get difficult. We landed on a minus attack for fighters, which is a little bit better for us, but it does make the Vista stage a lot more difficult to deal with because obviously we are going to be using a fighter-based team, so that's going to be quite annoying to deal with. So hopefully we can pick up a different debuff, like a health or recovery debuff, would definitely be more beneficial to us than an attack down debuff. But yes, as I mentioned before, we are going to be challenging Vista here, and I'll show you guys the team that I am using to farm the mid-map bosses. It works pretty effectively, honestly. It's not the best mid-map boss team that you can use, but it's a pretty decent team. So we'll go ahead and click fight. So the team that we are going to be using is going to be a treasure map Akainu team, double treasure map Akainu. Now, if you don't know what he does, his captain ability is a powerhouse boosting captain, 2.25 attack to powerhouse, 1.3 health. So we're running a full powerhouse team, but we are using the 1.5 booster squad. Even though he's not a powerhouse unit, we still use him just for the additional points that he'll provide. So we've got to wait for these friend captains to load up. But with this team in particular, we can actually get 10 times multiplier, which is, it's mind-boggling, really. And there are some teams you can build utilizing the units that are boosted in this treasure map to get a 16 times multiplier. It is crazy, some of the teams people are coming up with. But I'm going to go ahead and beat this really quick, and we'll be back ready to move on with the treasure map. Alright, so we just beat the treasure map mini-boss, being the Vista, and now let's go ahead and move on, okay? So, we got a decent amount of points from that, which is really good. It's always good to use all of the point boosters that you have accessible to you. The highest point boosters, always use them on the mid-map, because any units you use in the middle of the map, you can still use at the end against all of the bosses. It's just when you get to that stage, that's the time where you need to go ahead and build specific teams with specific units, okay? So, we're going to see if we can fish for a different debuff here. So we got a 1, unfortunately not that good. We would love to get rid of this attack down for fighters because this is really, really hindering us right now. So let's see what we get here. We get a 3, which is not really what we want. Where can we go from here? We could potentially go for the health down for free spirit. Or we could get, yeah, we could go for that. I'm gonna go for it. We need to get a 2. We need to get a 2 in order for this to work. To get rid of this attack down for fighters. Otherwise, it's gonna make the final fight extremely difficult. Okay, it's gonna make it extremely difficult. But now we have the mid-boss ace. So we are gonna be taking this guy on with the exact same team that you guys can see here. And once we do beat him, we'll be right back, ready to take on the final boss, Whitebeard, and all of his minions. Alright, so now we just beat Ace. Now we're ready to move on to the final one against Whitebeard, okay? So we're going to move on here. There are potential chances here to get a couple of orb spots, a couple of point spots, which is good. Going to get a couple more points along the way here, which is nice. Sometimes you can land on one of these spots and you can get, you know, over 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 plus points from these point spots. So, you know, if you are lucky enough to land on one and get a lot of points, that's really, really good. Unfortunately, there are no ways to really multiply those point spots, which is kind of annoying. But this is it, guys, okay? So we're ready to verse the final bosses, being Vista, Marco, Jozu, and Ace. As you can see here, the ones that say Gloom above the character means that we took them on in the mid-map. Now, taking on Vista is definitely the highest priority, as I mentioned earlier, and then also taking on Ace does help in some certain circumstances, but overall, these are the 2 bosses that you mainly want to be taking down, okay? So we're going to be challenging Vista right now. Now, if you guys saw my preparation recommendation video about what team to use against Vista, it would definitely recommended is going to be the Invasion Garp team. Now, the reason for this is because, you know, we all know that he's going to be extremely annoying to take down, but when you take them down in the mid-map, when you find them in the final boss stage, they have decreased health. Now, if you run Invasion Garp, you can just use Invasion Garp special to completely wipe the floor with the entire room. So we're going to go ahead and take this on, and I'll see you guys in the final room against Vista. And that just about does it. So now we move on to the final room here against Vista. And Vista, as you can see, has much lower health. And he has just enough health where we can go ahead and activate Invasion Garp's special ability. And that will go ahead and completely obliterate Vista, meaning that we clear the stage with just a single special. This is the best way to do it. Even if your Invasion Garp is not completely maxed, you can still go ahead, use your own copy, even if it's not max skill. And then you can find a friend Garp that is max skill. And that can help you along your way in order to beat Vista in Treasure Map Whitebeard. So now that we've beaten Vista, we're going to get our point scores, of course. And because all of our entire team were 1.2 boosters, we get a 2.98 or a 2.99 boost. 2.98, which is good, an extra 10k points. Now we move on to Marco. Now, if you have the entire like OP Judge team, you can run a Treasure Mode Mihawk team against Marco. However, I am using Treasure Mode Mihawk against Whitebeard, so instead I'm going to be using this team here, which is a Colosseum Sicilian team, utilizing a full power int squad. So this is an extremely good team, and we'll be able to kill Marco literally until like level 100 plus. Like at level 100 plus, you know, Marco only has like 3 million health at level 100, which, you know, this team can easily do, very easily. So I'm going to go ahead and challenge Marco, and I'll see you guys in the final room. And there we go. Now we move on to the final room against Marco. Now, Marco doesn't actually do much. He literally just recovers his health back to full at the end of every turn. So what we're going to do here is activate our Colosseum Sicilian special. We're actually going to use both of them, because what it will do is it will make our health below 30%. And when he's below 30% health, you get a 3 times int boost, which is extremely powerful. We're going to use our Neo Akainu to get a full board of orbs with an color affinity boost, a 1.75 affinity boost for our int team, and we can go ahead and activate this to get an orb boost as well. Like, this is like completely overkill, and with just one attack doing 1.4 million damage, that is so powerful. And you got a full team of this. This team is extremely powerful for Colosseum, or for Colosseum Marco, for against the treasure mode boss Marco. So now that we've moved on past Marco, we're going to be challenging Jozu this time. Now, Jozu is a little bit tricky. A lot of people might struggle with him if they don't know what he does. And the thing is you don't really need to bring anything specific against Jozu except for one thing. You need to bring a fixed damage dealer that does damage AoE. So in my specific example for my team against Jozu, I'm bringing a Sengoku team to lower our cooldowns, and I'm also bringing my 6+ Kuzan. So 6+ Kuzan will be able to do 100,000 AoE damage to all the mobs, and also against Jozu. Now, Jozu only has about 5k health at level 1, and it really doesn't increase that much. I think at level 100 he'll have something like 50k health, so you can potentially still use 5+ Sanji in place of this Kuzan here. So if you don't have Kuzan 6+, it's fine. You can still use 5+ Sanji. His stage 2 special is a 50k AoE fixed damage deal, which is really good. But anyways, we're going to speed this up, and I'll see you guys in the final room. Alright, so now we've actually taken down that was extremely easy with the AoE clears of Sengoku. We move on to the final room. All these characters might look intimidating, but they really do not have much health whatsoever. So we're going to go ahead, use Kuzan, and boom, completely finished. Very easy. As I mentioned, you don't need Kuzan specifically. You can still use 5+ Sanji, will work just as good up until about level 100, and that's where things might get a little bit tricky. Anyways, now that we've beaten Jozu, we have one more boss to take on, and that is going to be the Ace. Now, Ace is interesting. There are a couple things you do need to know about Ace, and we'll talk about that when we get into the final room. But the specific team that I'm using against it is going to be a powerhouse-related team here. Now, I've got Hody as the captain right now. In the easiest stages, you really don't need to run your 6+ Lucci as the captain. 6+ Lucci gives more damage, and having a double 6+ Lucci is going to be better because you have strength damage. But overall, as I mentioned, in the easier levels, you don't really need it. So currently I'm running Hody as the captain instead. And remember, we did take on Ace in the middle of the map, so he's going to be much weaker as well. So let's go ahead and get straight into this. As I mentioned, when we get to the final room, we'll explain the details about this specific dungeon and what you guys really need to know in order to clear it. But anyways, I'll see you guys then. So let's go ahead and take on Ace. And that is it. We've beaten that extremely easy, and now we're going to move on to Ace. Now, the thing about Ace, right, is the fact that he'll actually go ahead and halve your chain multiplier. So if you have the Vinsmoke Ichiji, the unit here, the Vinsmoke here, he's extremely good for this because he'll go ahead and provide a chain lock, so you can get around the halving of your chain multiplier. Alternatively, you can use another unit on a powerhouse team like Zio. He's great, or you could use the Strength Reishop Sanji, very good unit as well. So there are different units you can use in replacement of Ichiji right here. Also, something to note is when you kill Ace, he does 1.5 times his attack value as damage to you. So he does a lot of damage, right? So bringing a damage reducer like Hody Jones is going to be extremely useful in order for taking out Ace. As you can see here, once we actually kill him, he does a ton of damage to us, but luckily we have a 90% damage reduction, so it really doesn't matter. So the big thing about Ace is to bring a chain locker and also bring a damage reducer of about 60% or higher is highly recommended. 50% you could probably get away with, but depending on your treasure map level, it could get very high damage. So bringing a 90% damage reducer, 80% is going to be extremely useful. So chain locker and a damage reducer is going to be really good against him. Okay, so now that we've gone ahead, taken down Ace, we've unlocked now the boss Whitebeard. So as I mentioned a little earlier, you guys might have recognized that we are going to be using a treasure mode Mihawk team against Whitebeard. The treasure mode Mihawk team that I am using is not like the most optimal team, but I mean, you got to do what you got to do. It works, okay? So the team that I'm using is a little left field, so it utilizes double treasure mode Mihawk, of course. Now, using him is great because he is a 1.35 point booster. So if you have him, which a lot of you should have, he's extremely good, okay? So we're using the double Mihawk. We're using the Sai Zoro. This Sai Zoro is from the treasure mode, not the treasure mode, the Chopper Man mission rewards from the very first Blitz battle on One Piece Treasure Cruise Global. He's an extremely good unit. He provides 3 matching orbs, or adjacent orbs matching, and a 1.5 times type boost to slashes and driven. Very good unit. We've got Sai Law here. He's basically a beat stick. He's a point booster, and he's a Sai unit, so he does a lot of damage to Whitebeard. We're also bringing the new squad unit because he makes perfects easier to hit. He adds to the chain multiplier, which really doesn't matter that much, but the fact that he's a point booster, a 1.5 point booster, is the main reason why we're bringing him. And then the last thing, we're actually bringing Akainu on this team. Now, Akainu obviously isn't a slasher, but you're going to see why he's very useful when we get to the actual Whitebeard boss stage. So let's go ahead and get into this fight. Now, we have the cooldown reduction buff, which is going to be quite useful. It means we don't really need to stall. Stage 1 is a bunch of the giant characters. They actually have a lot of health. They're pretty tanky, honestly. But the thing is you can use this stage here to prepare yourself for stage 2. Stage 2 is very annoying because it has a whole bunch of your best friends, Larpens. Now, if these guys attack you on a 1-turn cooldown, so whenever they attack, they will disable your healing for 4 turns each. So make sure that if you guys want to maintain your healing on your team, to actually kill these guys off. Otherwise, you're going to lose all of your healing. And unfortunately for us, we are actually going to be losing our healing here. You can see here that this one was going to attack, so he'll go ahead and disable healing for only 4 turns, which is not actually bad at all. But we're going to go ahead and take down these other guys here because we do not want to take any more of this anti-healing on our crew. Take him down. And there we go. Now, moving on to stage 3. Now, stage 3 is very interesting as well. So, this cannoneer at the front, when you kill him, he'll make perfects difficult to hit for like 98, 99 turns. So, you know, that's extremely annoying to deal with. That is why having Squad is kind of useful, because he'll make perfects easier to hit. Alternatively, you can use the Polar Tang, which is the ship from Law's Training Forest. That will also make perfects easier to hit and is a slasher and a free spirit type ship. So that is also another option that you could opt for as well. I prefer using the Coffin Bow just for the extra health, which is always nice to tank hits. So we're going to just go ahead and move on right here. Hopefully get a couple matching orbs on our side characters would be nice. We got one on Law there. Now we've got stage 4 Whitebeard, okay? So this mini boss Whitebeard, this is not the final boss. What he'll do is he'll special bind your captains for 3 turns each. But other than that, he doesn't actually do anything. He doesn't do anything under any health threshold or anything like that. He just has a lot of health and will special seal your captains for 3 turns. That's legitimately the only thing he does, and it's the only thing you have to worry about. Other than that, you can move on without any worry in the world. But remember, your captains are special sealed for 3 turns. Now we move on to the final boss stage, which is the actual boss, Whitebeard. So Whitebeard actually has a couple of mob characters that are surrounding him as well. These guys are actually annoyingly tanky. They are quite annoying, because what will happen is Whitebeard will chain your friend captain for 5 turns. So having sockets is highly recommended in order to remove that bind. Or you can bring someone that removes the bind and the special seal, which is Vinsmoke Rage. She removes both bind, I think it's bind. No, Judge removes bind, and then you have Rage who removes the special bind. So those 2 units work very, very well against Whitebeard himself. But for this specific team, what we're going to do is we are going to just attack normally and hopefully kill as many units as we can. Boom. Unfortunately, unable to kill that unit there, which is, it's fine. So now that we've waited 1 turn here, the bind will be released in the following turn. So we're going to go ahead and use a Kindred Special here. What a Kindred Special does, it does a little bit of damage. It will also make it so that any damage above 3,000 is like thresholded. So it's like having your own damage limiter on your crew, which is extremely useful to have. So we're going to use that. We're going to kill off the mob units, and then when Whitebeard attacks on turn 2, he will attack you for 2 times his attack value. Now, I believe at the very start of Treasure Map, he has like a 10k health, so 10k attack power. So that first attack is going to do like 20k to your crew. So having a Kindred to basically nerf that damage is very, very useful. Now we're going to go ahead and do the burst to basically kill Whitebeard at this point. So we're going to have Mihawk for the orb boost and the chain lock. We've got Zoro for the orbs and the tight boost. We're going to use the special of Law to basically just give us a little bit of damage, and we're going to make perfects easy to hit with the Squad. But now let's go ahead, hit our perfects, and hopefully kill Whitebeard. And remember, we have a chain lock, so we're good, and that's basically it. And that is how I have been clearing Treasure Map Whitebeard thus far. With, you know, only cleared it 13 times, so it's not getting to the too difficult stages yet. But so far, this team is working extremely well, and I'm pretty happy with how it's going. And with that team, we had like a 6 times multiplier, which is actually really good. We got some good drops there as well. And how much points do we get in total there? Mastery points for our Law, which is always good. And we get 111,000 points from that, which is actually fantastic. So that has been the actual walkthrough, not really walkthrough, but a playthrough of Treasure Map Whitebeard. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video, and if you guys did enjoy it, make sure to smack the like button down below. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post on my channel, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But on that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.